Welcome to Breaking the Chain. I'm Jacob.
And I'm Cody.
And we got so much to do today. We have spoilers. We have news on just like decks. We've got the Banner. We have new LLL or LL distribution. There's the last of the PQ season. There's the Battle Hardened. We have so much to go over. And yesterday was the world premiere, so we have everything from the set, which is super cool.
Yep. Yeah, we were recording Friday morning, the morning after all of the reveals. So we have I think we have literally everything now. I don't think we're missing a single card at this point. And we get to go over all of it. Not all of it. We're not going to go over every card, but we don't have time for that. But we are going to go over all the new spicy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So actually with that, I forgot to add this to the notes. What did you do in Flesh and Blood this week?
I went to one armory, and I only unfortunately got to play one game there. So, but
yeah,
other than that, nothing too crazy. I've done a lot of deck building. I've watched a few things on like YouTube, and I watched a little bit of the world premiere yesterday. But It's been a fun week.
Yeah. It's actually kind of same. I played one round at my armory. I lost. I played Dash.io into Azalea and just got red ledgered like 5 times in a row. It was not good. And then I got to buy a second round, so I was like, I'm just gonna go and have the rest of my evening free, instead of waiting for 45 minutes. But I've also done a lot of outside of armory Flesh and Blood stuff in terms of like looking over the new cars, theory crafting, playing some games on Talishar, which I was impressed. I didn't realize that until I was playing this week that they've been live adding the cards as they've been spoiled, and so all of it, I think everything was playable on Talishar. I don't know if they had the cards early and they were able to like put them in early or anything, but I know usually that there's a delay because they have to code all the cards last minute as they're revealed. But this time, everything that was available was playable, which is really cool.
Yeah, I didn't know that until the armory, where I was just sitting down chatting with I think it was you and a couple other people, and then you're like, oh yeah, playing Gravy Bones on Talishar, da 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 da. I'm like, you can already play it? Didn't the spoilers come out like yesterday or something?
Yeah, I was impressed. It was really cool.
It was really cool.
But yeah, with that, let's just jump into the spoilers, the juicy part of this episode.
Oh, totally. Do you want to start us off in the expansion slot?
Sure, yeah. I'll give some structure to it. We're going to start with the expansion slot cards, and then we're going to talk about all like the M's, L's, and the Fable, and then any other notable comments and rares. We're not going to go through all of them. And I think next episode I want to do a little like discussion on limited because I love limited and it's really fun to talk about. Also, I guess next episode would be right before the pre-release, so that would be well timed as well. But with that, we'll go in order of the expansion slot by like set number. The first one, I think it was semi-predicted. It's a reprint of Codex of Frailty. However, it is a legendary. So I don't think your Codex of Frailties are going to lose any value from this. It's just like the CNC reprint. But it is a new art and it's pretty cool. They did a reprint. But no EA unless I'm missing it here. I've not seen any kind of EA version of this Codex of Frailty.
I haven't seen anything on like an EA version. Yeah. There definitely still could be because I know there's probably some things that we haven't seen 100%, but
right, yeah, it's possible that nobody's pulled it because I'm pretty sure it's only cards people have pulled, and obviously the rare ones won't have been pulled yet. But yeah,
or even someone's pulled it
to start it off.
Yeah, that's a pretty good start.
Yep. And then would you like to do the next one, or do you want me to just go through all the expansion slot cards?
We can keep going back and forth.
Okay.
Next, we have Undercover Acquisition, which is a assassin attack action. So red, 0 cost, block 3, attack for 3. Has stealth, so the average stealth kind of build. But then it says, when this hits a hero, steal an item they control.
Which is a really interesting card.
It's a really interesting card. Like, you can steal some, like, energy potions from Kano. You can steal, like, healing pots from verdants. Like you can steal a few different things that, like, I don't know how much it's actually going to be played. I think Slippy's probably going to like it, especially into some matchups. But
So I think something else to keep in mind is that well, for one, it's in the pirate set, so you're gonna be stealing gold with this a lot of the time if you're playing against a pirate. But against the mechanologists, they don't play, the only items they play or they use or they make aren't just gold. They're golden cogs, or they're cerebellum
mm,
processors, or they're Teklo pounders, or if you're playing Slab Dash, they're the like plasma purifiers and whatnot.
oh yeah, I even thought
And
about that.
yeah, and then so in the right deck, this is pretty brutal to get hit by. Um,
Hmm.
because if you are Azuri, you can either just play this naturally and threaten to replace it and force a block when the block doesn't matter, or you can swap this in and threaten the on hit when it really matters. Or against in Slippy or Marionette, you obviously can pump this in multiple various ways and steal a very important item. I think it will be matchup dependent, obviously, because items have different value depending on who you're playing against. But I think it's a very strong card. I think it's a
Yeah,
really, really good option for Slippy and Mario and potentially Azuri.
yeah, I think in the right matchup, it's absolutely insane.
Mm. And then with that, the third expansion slot card is called Bam Bam. It is a yellow cost 3. I'll start with it's a brute action attack. Yellow costs 3, 6 power, 3 block. When this hits a hero, destroy an item they control. As an instant, you can discard this. Your club attacks this turn. When this hits a hero, destroy an item they control. Really interesting that we basically got 2 brute expansion slot cards to set. Because we already
Right.
got the sea legs for brute, and now I get this additional item hate card, which is kind of funny considering this is, I think, the third brute item hate card that exists
Hmm.
now. Like they already had 2 good ones, and they wanted to give us another one.
Well, this one's really cool because one, you can block with it, unlike
Hmm.
the other two. Well, no, I think the first one you can. I think it's an action, but you can't
Yeah.
block with the one from Heavy Hitters, which was, I think it was it?
Yeah. It's
I
a
don't know. The
3.
second one that came out, it was a non-block and on hit destroyed a random item or something like
That's
that.
right.
It's like the same stats but can't block and destroys a random item. This is just like a strict upgrade from that really bad card. On top of that, I like the instant ability. I think that's really cool to be able to like look like you're arsenaling something, or it's like gives brutes like a kind of trick which they haven't really had. And in Reinar, it's on command intimidate just in your hand. So
That's right.
I
Okay,
like
so
it
I'm
a
looking up.
lot.
Yeah, I'm looking up now. Yeah, the one from Heavy Hitters, Smashing Performance, does it not only does it block for 0, but you have to draw and discard a random card. It has to be a 6 or more that you discarded, and then it's a random item in the arena. So a
Yeah.
notable upgrade from that. And then Arm Smash from Crucible is roll a 6-sided die and destroy X items where X is half the number of half of X rounded down. So you have to roll a die and again have a random chance. Whereas this is now you guarantee hit destroy an item if it hits, or
I
if your
guess
club
the other
hits.
one is a draw discard effect, so it doesn't need to hit.
Right, but it has to like hit the 6 in your hand is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like if you draw and discard Blood Rush Bellows, then not great.
uh, no.
um,
But I like this card. I think it's super cool.
yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's basically just replaces any other item hate in brute.
Yeah. And yeah, it's exactly what it is because you don't have to require anything else from hand. You can arsenal this, hold 1 blue, throw it for 6. You can throw a club, which,
Inconspicuous
like,
club. Yeah.
yeah, and at some point, KO is going to leave and you're not going to run the claws. So when he leaves, this is like the club is a lot more valuable because it has that like side, like, oh, I'm gonna arsenal this card, throw the club, and they're like, oh, no block, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna destroy whatever item I choose, you know. So I think it's super cool. I really like it. It's a huge upgrade. It's actually from I'm not huge on brute. I play a little bit. I'm not huge on brute. I think it's a good card.
I think it's good. And I just realized actually too that you can in Reinhardt just discard this to intimidate. Like you don't
Yeah,
have to
just
plan. You don't have
instant
to.
intimidate.
Yeah, yeah. It's an instant intimidate. You don't have to swing the club to get value out of it in certain spots, right? Like you can just.
Mhm.
It's basically another barraging beatdown.
Well,
That
that's
is
cool
fun, but
because with the instant intimidate on your club, it makes it even harder to block for the opponent.
yep. Yeah,
Like
you can go
you
like
buff the club
barraging beat down, discard this, pay for club. Now they have 3 cards intimidated, and it's coming in for like 10.
on it, destroy like one
Yeah,
of your plasma purifiers or something. Like super cool.
yeah, I like it. All right, so then the next one's for you.
So the next one is Surface Shaking. It is a blue 3-cost 3-block Guardian Action Aura. It says, "Go again." Big news on a
Woo!
Guardian card, but there's more than that. When this enters the arena, create 3 Seismic Surge tokens. At the beginning of your action phase, destroy this. Then you may put X cards from your hand on the bottom of your deck, where X is the number of Seismic Surge tokens you control. Draw cards equal to the number of cards put on the bottom of that way.
This is
This card's
interesting.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's, well, I say it's so good. I think that Victor doesn't want to run it.
Mm,
Jarl doesn't want to run it.
hmm
I don't know about Betsy, but I think Bravo loves it. I think Betsy, or not Betsy, sorry. I think Valda, it's an auto include because
Yeah.
in Valda, it's like crazy close. I would say it's so good in Valda
It's
because
it's it's funny though because like you say it's so good in Volda, but at the same time, isn't it just equal value in terms of making seismic search tokens?
so the thing is, if you're running a Earthlord bounty build of whenever you draw cards from action cards, create that many
Oh,
seismic
right.
surges. This is, and the other thing that's really good about this is it's a blue block 3 that costs 3. So it doesn't
Yeah.
matter that you can block 3, you can pitch it, it costs 3, so it triggers a lot of other effects that you like in Guardian. It has Go Again. And what's so important about it having Go Again as a blue block 3 is that you can play this into a hammer. So if you can play
Mm,
this into Anathos, you can play this into Titan's Fist. And what's so strong about this card's more of a I just had a huge turn. I like ate your hand, I stole your turn, I drew an all blue hand.
mhm.
Okay. And that happens in Guardian where you're like, bravo, crippling crush, dominate, pummel, or whatever. You steal the entire hand, and you're like, I have all the momentum this game. Draws all blue hand, and you're like, well, I just lost all the momentum I gained.
Right.
And I'm sure it happens in Valda just as much. But that's what's so good about it is in an all blue hand, you can still play this and present offensive pressure on
Mhm.
top of creating 3 seismic surge, which makes it a lot easier. So off of this all blue hand, you still were able to present some offensive pressure. For example, in Bravo, you have Anathos. So you play this into Anathos, and it's a 2-card 6, or it's 2-card 9 if you consider seismic surge a 1-card value. And that doesn't even include the hand filtering. It doesn't include if you're on Valda, like
It'd be 3 card 9, right?
you're 3-card 9. You're correct. 3-card 9
But like in
with
Volda, now I understand the value in Volda now because if you run Anthos in Volda and you're getting the 3 extra seismic surges off of, or potentially 4 seismic surges off of bottoming 4 cards, then you're getting uh you're doing a 3 card like well, I'm trying to put it this way where it's refunding itself and then it probably refunds itself again from the 3 plus seismic surges, but then you get to throw Anathos for 6, so it's like a 1 card 6 effectively in a weird way.
it's really weird. But like
Yeah.
the other thing that I love about it is like usually when you draw an all blue hand, it's not good for your next hand because that normally means you have too many reds in your hand. So
Oh, and this fixes that.
and that
That's cool.
fixes that because the next turn and like it goes the other way too. Like sometimes you may like draw another all blue hand, but like the benefit of this card is you draw your hand up and you're like, this hand's unusable. Like I'll sink it. I need to keep the 1 blue, but I have 3 reds. I'll sink the 3 reds. Hope I draw something else in my other stuff, or keep the important card. Like, oh, I'll keep the Terror Thunder, sink 3 reds. So if I draw all blues, I can do this, but hopefully I draw red and more blues. Or say you draw all blues, or you draw all reds, you're like, okay, I'll keep this Spinal Crush, sink 3 reds, draw 3 cards.
Mhm.
And then like, oh, there we go. There's 2 blues and maybe another red that I can arsenal. It creates Seismic Surge. It's good on an all blue hand. It like hand fixes. I love this card. I think it's amazing. And
Mhm.
I think one reason I like it so much is I think it personally pushes Bravo even more away from Victor. It pushes him
I see.
because like I kind of see it's like weird right now with Valda coming out. Like Valda is like the Aura Guardian. That's like Aura Guardian. That's like on one side of playing Guardian. And you have Victor,
Mhm.
who's the aggressive, like big 6 power Guardian. And then you have Bravo, who's like, and this is like a chart from Valda to Victor. You
Mhm.
have Bravo that's really close to Victor, but trying to move closer to Valda. And I think the ideal is for it is like Valda, and then like Bravo's in the middle, who's like aggressive, but also has the ability to switch to a defensive, more control. Like
Right.
doesn't has more aura. Like so I want him to be more in the middle, and then Victor on the end, and then you have 3 what feel like separate guardians that play somewhat alike. Instead of you have Valda and then all the other guardians that are sandwiched happily on one side of the graph.
Yeah. No, I see the value in this card because it's very flexible in that sense. Um, does everything you really want it to, right?
Mhm. And it's an aura, so like all the other aura
Yeah.
effects that like I say all the other. I think there's like one other card that's like if you control another aura, draw a card.
Yeah, but we'll see. Maybe we're
And
getting more of those in the Guardian Mastery Pack.
mhm. Yeah, I'm super excited for this card. I'm gonna have 3 of, if not 6 of. Like, I love this card
Yeah.
personally.
Um, yeah, the next one is Preach Modesty, a ninja action aura, red, 0 cost, 2 block. This enters the arena with a balance counter. At the beginning of your action phase, destroy this unless you remove a balance counter from it. Hero abilities can't create cards with reminder text that tokens are cards. So we see the card that makes Valda 6 seismic surges, and then we see right after the card that denies those 6 seismic surges.
Yeah.
Actually, sorry, it only denies the 3 off of drawing. That's right. Actually, no, it doesn't deny any of them. Hold on.
Well, it would. Oh,
No,
you're
no, no.
right because it's
That's
off
wrong. That's
of
wrong.
the
I was wrong
chest.
about that. Because 3 of them are made by the card, and then 3 of them are made by the chest piece. None of them are actually made by the hero ability there,
I mean,
unless
if
you're
you
drawing
do a big,
cards.
I was gonna say unless you're drawing cards.
Yeah. But sorry, it doesn't actually deny the last card. But interesting ninja aura. It's definitely not like an aggressive ninja type of card. It's more of a defensive ninja type of card, like something like a defensive Ira build. And it's
Mhm.
only really hitting. I'm trying to think of who it really hits hard. It's basically just the gold creation stuff that hits the hardest. Like, sure, you can deny a might off of KO, or you can deny um
Mhm.
like maybe I guess Vizrai doesn't exist anymore, but you would have denied multiple rune chains off of Vizrai if he was still here.
It would have been really good against Viscerai.
Yeah, but I mean, again, it's like even though you say it's like really good, like oh, I guess it does stay around for 2 turns, so it gets some good value to
Yeah,
Vizrai, I guess. But that's about it. Like
I could
I'm not
imagine.
seeing a lot of spots for it to run this.
Yeah, especially as like a 2 block, it's kind of hard. The nice
2 block
thing that
red.
yeah, the nice thing about a ninja is like you can go pretty wide, so like you get like Kadachi, 1 extra attack end on this, so it doesn't feel as bad. I
Yeah.
can see it as a sideboard card that like, I mean against Vinset, if you struggle into Vinset, that could be good because it like
Yeah, it was
keeps it
some
from gaining.
insensibility. That's actually interesting. That's probably the best one
Like
so far.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure against the pirates, like does
Mhm.
their hero ability generate any
A
gold?
lot of them make the gold off the hero ability. Oh, it also affects the draconic heroes because it stops them from making a fealty token.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's actually I feel like that's pretty good against Fang and
Pretty
Ninja
good against
because like
Fang if it's
because
early.
I feel yeah, that's true. That's very true. Yeah, I was gonna say it's like because I feel like that one is just like how fast does Fang create the fealty? So if you're a ninja and you're like, oh, turn 0, turn 1, turn 2, like you can get a
Mhm.
pretty good start against Fang because you stop him from creating fealty. Well, it's it's weird. It's
Yeah,
like a
it's the problem is you have to get at least a card's worth of value out of it for it to make sense, right? And
right.
like, is a fealty worth a card?
sometimes
It
though,
could be.
because like
If this
it's
was
like this
blue,
is where it's yeah,
if it was blue, it'd make a lot of sense. Because then later on, it's a zero cost blue. You can pitch it to Kadashi, right? But as a red, you find this later in the game against Fang, and what do? It blocks two. It it's a red. Like, I don't know. It's it's pretty rough, if you ask me.
yeah. I think like I can understand it being red because I think the idea of it being against like a hero like Viscerai that's like, oh, create like Mordred Tide, create like 20 rune chance, and you just said no, you actually create zero. Like it's pretty strong that way. And
Yeah,
I can
it's
see against like Fang it being pretty powerful because they're like, I needed that on hit my entire turn, the next turn, I have to pay an extra card, and when their cards can be like a 0 for 4, it's like it blocked 4 damage, but you didn't see it.
yeah, it's definitely one of those cards where even if it's not great right now, there's gonna be a time where it's busted. There's gonna be a time where there's a hero that's just like creating multiple cards and is just you're not going to want to see this on the other side.
Right,
So right now, doesn't seem like it has a ton of value. I think Vincent was maybe the biggest one, but potentially a very strong future card for Ninja.
right. Cool. The next one is Escalate Bloodshed. It is a red warrior 0 cost instant aura. Whenever a hero draws a card during their action phase, they lose 1 life. At the beginning of each hero's action phase, they draw a card. At the beginning of each hero's end phase, if a weapon did not attack this turn, destroy this.
I love the art on this. First of all, I
The
think it's
art
really
is
sick.
fantastic.
Um,
That's the only good thing I'm seeing on this card.
so yeah, it's interesting. There's a couple cool things about it though. I think that
Mhm.
the primary user of this is Kasai,
That's true.
because you draw a card, make sure your weapon's free. Um, and so you're getting value out of that. But other than that, even in Kasai, it's a little odd because the decks are built to be able to draw a card every turn now, and
Mhm.
I don't know how much value you're really getting off of this. It'll be interesting. There's definitely gonna be some Kasais that run this as like a 1 over 2 of, um, and it's a little bit hard to overstate or to evaluate the losing 1 health because your opponent's gonna. The problem is you're drawing your opponent a card too, right? So you play this card. Now
Yeah.
you're down 1 card. Then next turn, your opponent draws a card. Or you play this at the end of your opponent's turn, rather. Actually, you can't do that unless they put the attack with a weapon. So they have to have attacked with a weapon, but then you play it on their turn, and then on your turn you draw a card. You lose a life. So now you're back to neutral, and you've lost a life. And if you have any cards in hand that say draw a card, then it doesn't matter anymore. Like you're double getting the value on the free weapons. And then next turn, your opponent draws a card for free outside of one
And they
life, but they don't care about that. They get an
yeah.
extra card, and then it probably just goes away. Like they don't attack with a weapon, or they just can't even attack with a weapon. Like
And
if they're
then
a
you
ranger,
had you had -1 value from this card. Like
you
if you
basically just
don't
lose a
include
health
the opponent draw,
and gave your opponent a card, and they only had to pay 1 health to do it. I don't know. It's odd. I think there's gonna be a way that someone utilizes this in a way that makes sense. Um, but it's again like if it wasn't a red, if it was a blue, sure, it makes sense. Even if it was a
right?
yellow, if it was a yellow for Gasai, that would be probably good enough too, because you might be able to find some niche use cases for it. But again, as a red, like zero block, I don't know. This is not looking too good for me.
Yeah, I could like the situation I could see it being used is I'm playing like Falda and surface shakings on the field, and then surface shaking because it's at the beginning of your action phase, which gives you a stack trigger.
Oh, that's interesting
So you
actually.
could technically play Escalate Bloodshed on top of the stack whenever the surface shaking trigger happens. And you just like pray that I sink my entire hand to draw and deal 3 damage. Like,
That's actually kind of funny, yeah. Okay, that
and
actually that changes things too, because if it's at the beginning of the action phase, you can play this before that trigger then, right? At the start of your own turn. Like you don't have to play it at the end of your opponent's turn.
So you,
I think there might be a priority window somewhere between like the start of your turn and the action phase, start of the action phase. But I could be wrong. I'm not. I really need to learn the
so
rules of this game.
so there's no priority window at start of turn. It is start of
Right.
action phase. There are priority windows, but you cannot do that unless the turn player triggers something that does that. The funny thing about
Nice.
Guardian auras and sometimes Runeblade auras is Runeblade auras and Guardian auras will trigger at the start of action phase, which is technically turn player putting priority on stack.
We'll see. We'll have
So
to wait for like a judge thing on this because even if you played it then, would it miss the trigger because it's already been like the start of action phase or whatever? Like,
yeah, that part
you
I
know.
don't know if you at the beginning of the hero's action phase
But
they draw a card.
I don't think it makes a big
But
difference anyway. Like, I'll be honest. I
I
think this
think
card, it just doesn't matter.
I think unfortunately, like playing it on top of me playing that aura is it's still the beginning because it's resolving that effect at the beginning. So it technically resolves this card before that card, and it's still the beginning of the
I
act.
will say, actually, hold on. That's better. That's better because if it doesn't act, if it's not at the beginning of the action phase, if it misses the middle line, then you still deal the damage, but they don't draw a card, right? Like if it misses the beginning of the action phase trigger, you still get the first line. It's just that just says whenever someone draws a card during an action phase,
Yeah,
they lose one. So
I
that's even better actually. If you can respond to that trigger and it misses the start of action phase
well, what
trigger,
I'm saying
right?
is I think it still triggers that
You
middle
think so?
line
Okay. Well, we'll
because
we'll, we'll see.
it,
We'll see.
we'll have
I
to
don't want to spend
we'll
too
have to
much
see
time
it,
on
Judge.
it.
I
But
think we're just trying to find the value in this card. We're like,
yeah.
how does this card make any sense?
Yeah. Please make it work somehow. Um yeah, I don't know. It's like it's certainly a Kasai card, and then even then it's like
Yeah.
eh, it's
Let's
fine.
pray my opponent throws their weapon so I can get value out of this.
Right. But yeah, with that, the next expansion slot card is Deny Redemption. It is a red 0 cost Runeblade attack action. Attacks for 3, blocks for 3. When this attacks a hero with more health than you, deal 1 arcane damage to them and it cannot be prevented. Instant discard this. Heroes can't gain health this turn. Interesting card.
I
The
like it.
the initial thought is it's basically a count your blessings counter that has other
Mhm.
text on it, but we just got all the count your blessings banned. So I mean, the second part is not really relevant unless you're playing against Verdance because people just aren't really gaining health that much. At least not as much as it's worth to spend a card for. Um,
Right.
and then the first effect is interesting. It's basically a 0 for 4 if they have more health than you, which is, I
Yeah.
mean,
It's like better than a 0 for 4 if the opponent has more health than you. But if they don't, it's a 0 for 3 that does nothing.
yeah. And then again, it's like a red, and so it's not very modal in that sense. So I don't know. This definitely has a very good sideboard potential for a future meta,
Mhm.
but I think at the moment it's just a card that's going to sit around and waiting for its time to shine.
I mean, like, I think Florian has a tough time in Verdance. So it could be a really good sideboard card where you go late game, you pitch stack this or whatever, and you wait for the Verdance to try and combo off on you. You discard this, they can't combo off on you, and then you kill them on stack or something
Yeah,
like that.
I think if this was an Earth card, that could make sense because then you could run Plume and then grab this whenever you need it. But otherwise, you have to like hold it in hand or just draw at the right time.
I mean, for how strong the effect is, especially in that matchup, it's probably a good thing it's not an Earth card
True, that
to
would be
just be
just a
able to
counter.
do that.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that you have to have it at the right time. You can't just like put it
Yeah,
in arsenal and wait. Unlike another card we're going to talk about later. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that one.
cool. Next one, I'm gonna skip over Burn Bear because we talked about it last week. But we
Yep.
have Riddle with Regret. It is a red 0 cost block to Chaos Action Aura. It says, go again. At the beginning of each hero's end phase, they lose X life, where X is the number of auras they control when this triggered. If X is 3 or more, destroy this.
really interesting card. The art, first of all, is very
Really?
unique.
I'm trying to figure out what that is.
It's like it.
It's like a person in a insane suit that like broke out and
Yeah, something like that. Like when I first saw it, like before I looked into the details of the art, I thought Levia. Like it just kind of gave Levia vibes.
I can
Um,
see that. I mean,
but
it's definitely not looking a lot deeper into it, but it has the same color
yeah,
scheme is the thing.
exactly. It was the color scheme that made me think of Levia first. But yeah, as for the effect, I think it's pretty good. It's only for Slippy, because that's the only chaos hero we have so far. Um,
Marionette's
but
chaos.
what was that?
Marionette is chaos.
Oh, are they both chaos?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was only Slippy. Am I crazy? I guess I'm crazy. I thought it was only Slippy that was chaos. No, yeah, it's also Rocky Marionette. And then technically you can be a chaos. Oh no, but you can't put it in your deck. Okay, yeah. So Mario and Slippy can both play this card. Um, and against the right heroes, this is really, really interesting because if they
It could
have
be
two
really
auras,
strong.
if they constantly make one or two auras, then this is just sitting around for a while and just dealing damage to them, right? Because it just sits around until they make three permanently.
The other thing is like, oh, I'm a Fang. I have 4 fealties. It's a 0 for 4 unpreventable.
Yeah,
Like really, it
yeah.
like just it is really strong that way. Or Valda, when I'm like, oh, I'm having my crazy pop off turn. I have 10 seismic surge, and they're like, okay, 0 for 10.
Mm,
Like, oh no.
yeah. This is also, I don't know how this works with like when you give your opponent blood rot tokens and stuff. If I think your opponent can layer them such that the blood rots destroy before this checks, but I'm not sure about that.
Oh wait, at the beginning of each Here's End phase. I guess you would know before you end your turn. But yeah, I see what you're saying now.
Like I just don't know if the turn player can order the auras destroying and activating such that the auras destroy before this one sees them. And it might only, therefore, it would only affect auras that stick around until the next turn, right? It wouldn't, any auras that destroy at the end of the turn would not be affected by this, which
This
is
is
interesting because the assassins are like making tokens for their opponents, right? In terms of frailties and blood
mm,
rots and inertias and whatnot. And so it kind of denies that value, um, of there. You basically only playing this against heroes that make their own auras in that case. Um,
that's kind of interesting because like you played against the Fang and you're like, especially at low life, it's like destroy all your auras or lose.
mhm.
Like destroy all your
Well,
fealty, all your value.
you don't lose, but like imagine you play this turn 0 against Fang, and now until they get 3 fealty, they're just taking damage. Like if they have 1 fealty, they just take damage every turn end of phase. They get 2 fealty, now they're taking 2 damage every turn end of phase.
Mm.
Until they get to 3 fealty, they still take 3 damage, and then it finally destroys itself.
The thing about it though is like, yeah, that's really strong. It is also an aura itself, and this feels very chaos. And it's until someone chooses to destroy it, you're taking a damage a turn as
That's
well.
true. I missed that it was also itself an aura. So you're taking 1 damage every turn.
So it's
Interesting.
like it actually is a really cool card. I love the idea
Interesting.
though of like very late game playing this and doing whatever, and it's like against the Fang. It's like you're at 2 life, I'm at 2 life. You have 4 fealty. Like you can do this turn, but you're gonna have to end this turn without all of your fealty or lose.
Or kill me, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah, it's itself an aura. So okay, that makes it a little bit worse because now you're taking 1 damage every turn, and you have to make sure your opponent's taking more damage than you for it to actually matter.
I mean like gold's no, that's not an aura. That's just an item
Yeah,
token.
those are just items. Yeah, it's like
I mean
seismic
against.
surges,
I mean it's really good against
prism.
Prism
I guess more
because
like
Prism
OG
has.
prism.
Yeah, I mean, even then, like, if they end their turn with a Genesis, it pops their ally.
You know, I mean, Slippy already had a pretty good time into Enigma, but if Enigma wasn't LL'd, this would just destroy her. this would just
That's
this would
true.
be brutal for Enigma. Like, holy, just absolute counter card. I'm looking in February now at auras, and I just the first things that come up are all Enigma cards. I'm like, oh shit, that would that would suck.
If Enigma were still around, I would have switched to Chaos so fast.
Yeah. What else? What else? I guess
You
there's
don't even
some.
care that you're losing a life a turn at that point. You're like, Enigma's not playing. Like,
Yeah.
block, have her aura pop.
Rune Chants are auras, right?
Yes, they are.
If you play against like someone who's stacking, you're saying
Yeah.
you have to go off. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
Well,
really
this
good.
destroys itself after 3.
But you still like
But yeah, like
if they have 10 rune chance and their goal is to like stack to 40, to KU, you play this, like you better attack me, right? Or like you attack with everything, or you attack and you end the turn with this and they block their whole hand, and then now you play this, they're taking 10 damage and they can't do anything about it. Or
I
however
like
much
this card
damage
a
or
lot.
however many rune chance they have. Like, there's so many interesting things here. Because yeah, it's rune chance. I'm looking at what other auras this affects. Malefic incantations are auras. It's like against Vincent, this is really good.
I think it's a pretty cool card.
Yeah, very, very cool card. What else? What else? I'm just like, there's so many opportunities here. There's just so many auras in the game. Anyway, there's like 4. I searched up aura and there's just 4 pages. Yanty. Yeah, I mean those are the
This
main
card,
ones
Flesh
though,
and
at
Blood.
least. What's the next one? Let's see here. Oh, the next one is Claw of Vincerikai. First of all, draw my moment. Naming Vincerikai. Love it already. But this is a draconic weapon dagger, one-handed, 1 power. Once per turn action, pay 1 attack. Spell void 1. Really interesting weapon.
It's very interesting.
It doesn't have go again, which is very notable. So you can't just swap this in for your dagger and Fang or Syndra, right? Like it's not going to fulfill the exact same role as the other dagger. Like it's not just a strict upgrade. But in Fang, you can have this be your second dagger, right? Against wizards, and have that extra spell void on board. It's obviously not great if you wanted to do anything after the second weapon swing, but it is there as an option to prevent yourself from dying to like a big wildfire. And in Syndra, you can flick this still or destroy it and then buy it back with Syndra. So you can spell void with this, and then on your next turn, get 3 chain links, buy it back, and now you have spell void 1 again.
Yeah, I think this is actually really strong in Syndra. Like really strong. I think it's strong in Syndra. I could see a lot of use, and it's like especially if it's like your second dagger, and you keep just flicking it at her.
Well, usually you can flick it or spell void if you're playing against like a rune blade that's just constantly dealing arcane to you, and just get multiple value out of it that way. So very cool weapon. I like it a lot. I like the design a lot of it.
Yeah, we'll see if it's actually like good, but I do like the design. I'm actually really happy with a lot of the expansion slot cards. I think the design on a lot of them are really cool and really interesting, and like ask a lot of questions.
Yeah, I think my only thing so far is that some of them seem very situational, but I think they will all have their time to shine. Yeah, you want to talk about the next one?
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot.
You're good.
It's on me for this one. So the next one we have is Everbloom Life. It is a 3/0 cost block 3 Earth action Earth instant meld card. First off, it is it's only Earth. I can play this in Jarl. I didn't even realize that.
Yep.
Oh,
it is an Earth blue 3 block.
That's amazing. That's so good.
No texting, just ignore the rest of the card. It's an Earth blue 3 block.
Earth blue 3 block. That's insane. Okay, let's read the text now. So it has life on one side, gain 1 life. Pretty cool. Choose an action card in a graveyard with cost less than the total life you've gained this turn. Put it on the bottom of its owner's deck. I can't even put anything on the bottom of my deck as Jarl, but I think this is going in the deck.
Well, so you will heal 1 with life.
I will gain 1.
So
I mean,
if you have any 0 cost action cards, you can put them on the bottom.
Winter's Bite.
Yeah, we can put Winter's Bite on the
I
bottom.
can put Winter's Bites back in my deck. That card's insane.
So yeah, so it's Everbloom
Oh,
Life. So the other side is just the Earth instant gain one. Um,
yep.
and so the instant can activate first, and then Everbloom will happen where you've gained one. Or if
Yep.
you're a different hero, maybe you've gained more. You can put an action card on the bottom with cost less than that. But now it makes sense why they banned Germinate, because
Yeah.
this puts Germinate back on the bottom of your deck. So this is like running 6 Germinates in Florian, which is pretty crazy.
If you
Especially for
stack
the
this with
yeah.
Sorry, I was gonna say if you
No,
stack
you're good.
this with Fruits of the Forest, you can heal like fruits, this, Oakenold back on the bottom.
Ooh, okay. You're already cooking Jarl. I like it. I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it. Actually, sorry, you couldn't. Organol cost 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you'd have to heal 4 to.
Oh, okay.
It's
Never
less
mind then.
than. Yeah. So you have to heal 4. So you get Sigil of Solace.
Oh, okay. You could Sigil Solus. You could have 2 Fruits of the Forest and
There you go.
slide
There
that
you go.
underneath. A
But yeah, very
little
good. I
more
mean,
Nice and Jarl. It's just the blue 3 block
it's
Earth
funny that
card.
yeah, this could be literally textless, and every Earth hero would run this.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, yeah, very cool card. Very good card. Now it makes sense why they banned Germinate.
Mhm.
Um, the next card is another meld card. It's Consigned to Cosmos and Shock, a yellow 0 cost, 3 block, lightning wizard action, and lightning instant for the shock part. Shock is deal 1 arcane damage to any target, and then the action part, Consigned to the Cosmos part, is banish X instant and or aura cards from any graveyard, where X is the amount of arcane damage you've dealt this turn. Very good Acilio card. A 3 block, basically it's just a 3 block shock, which is very
Mhm.
important for Acilio, first of all. The second thing I want to note is there is a lot of CYB hate in these expansion slot cards. I don't know if you've noticed that yet.
Yeah.
Banish X instant and or aura cards from any graveyard. So you could banish all their CYBs and then make their rest of the CYBs in the deck just bad value, right? But
Right.
CYB is gone. Apparently it's going to come back in the future, is what I've heard. Um, but we'll see. We'll see if that actually happens. And this
We'll
is basically
see.
just a really good shock for Acilio. He plays this anyway without CYB needing to be good.
It's like the Earth card that is just a blue 3 block
Yeah,
Earth card. This is a yellow. It's just a yellow 0 cost instant.
yeah. Well, it doesn't matter what pitch it is. It's just
Yeah,
a
yeah,
3 block shock. That's
yeah.
good enough for Acilio.
Oh, and I was listening to, I think it was the Runaways that were talking about how like a 0 cost shock would be crazy in Acilio because like being able to like off the boots be like a free action point, or also on a turn you could like staff and throw shock. So you have this big combo turn, and then you staff and you throw shock. It doesn't even matter what the other tech says, but
Exactly.
it's like with the staff and shock, that's a 0 cost. I don't like however much damage you can do. It just adds so much more range to Acilio.
Yeah, because the biggest problem with Acilio is not being able to take value out of your weapon, and so you just need to
Mm-hmm.
be able to have the shock or any kind of spell at all times in case you're popping off. And this being a 3 block means you can block with it early, or you can use it on your pop off turn.
Yep.
Did we talk about the next one?
I don't know if we did. We.
I don't think so. I think
I
it
don't
was
know if
spoiled
we
in
did.
between. I think it was spoiled in
Yeah.
between episodes. So if you want to go ahead with this one.
Oh yeah. So next we have the Herald of Sechem, which is a red 2 cost 3 block 7 attack uh light illusionist action attack. When this attacks, you may put a yellow card from your hand into your soul. If you do, deal 2 arcane damage to any target phantasm. I've heard a lot of mixed things on this card.
Yeah, everyone's been able to simmer on this card for a little bit, so I don't want to take too much time on it. But basically, really good Prism card. Not only is it a Herald, but it's It's like a guaranteed Soul and Angel, even if your opponent pops it or anything, right? Because it happens when it attacks. Um, so really good card, but it's obviously situational because you have to spend a card from hand to do the effect. So you're
Mm-hmm.
doing like a 3 card 9. Well, it's more than that because you get the Angel, but you know what I mean. Like it, compared to hitting with a different herald, it's not as good a value because you just spend a card from hand instead of the
From
card
what I
from the chain going into soul.
yeah, from what I hear, it's good into fatigue,
Yeah.
bad into aggro. It is a sideboard card that helps you get around fatigue when you can't summon an ally.
Yeah, because now your opponent can't just block out every herald and have the D react for the angelic wraths. You
Right.
get the guaranteed soul and or card from this, and it's a herald, so it gets go again off of yellow, and you can put it in your soul off of the helmet. There's just it does everything you pretty much need it to into like the fatigue slash popper matchups outside of the having phantasm. But yeah, with that, we'll go to the next one. This is I think this is probably the spiciest card in the expansion slot this area here. Arcane Compliance, a blue 0-cost generic instant. Until end of turn, effects can't increase arcane damage that target action card on the stack would deal. Insane Kano hate card right here. It just
Finally,
it just
there's an
replaces
opportunity.
Oasis. Like that's just like
Mhm.
you don't run Oasis anymore into Kano. You run this card into Kano, right? Like you target Wildfire with it, and now it just comes in for its base 4, and you can either pitch 3 for it, or now it's just hitting for 4 instead of like 7 or whatever that they pump it to. You can target the book that draws 2 cards, so now it's just coming in for its base value and it doesn't get the surge effect. And so now like if they go Wildfire, you AB it, and then they go book. Now you don't have any more AB. You can play this from Arsenal, stop the draw. It probably just breaks their whole combo turn. You can also play this into Verdance that would normally amp
Mhm.
a card based off of their combo. So you can have this against Verdance for their combo turn. And I think the biggest strength of it is that it's an instant you can play from Arsenal. It doesn't say discard this to do the effect. It's just
Yeah.
an instant that does it. So you can park it in Arsenal, and now you're safe. Now you can do your turns, keep throwing your aggression at Kano, force them to pop off, and it's almost like you have a blue in hand, but in your arsenal, right?
Yeah. It is nice. It's really interesting. It's like so weird because I don't know if it helps too much or it might just be
I think it's
like,
massive. I think
I
it's
think it's
absolutely
huge.
massive for
But
Kano.
I need to like sit down and play with it a lot more to really feel it out because like it's gonna be really insane for like Guardian to not just auto lose when you sit down and you see a wizard across from you and be like, okay, well I just lost because you're a wizard and I can't prevent your damage because I don't have any arcane barrier on any of my equipment. But
Yeah.
LSS, please. But
I don't know if this necessarily fixes Jarl's matchup into Kano, but it definitely
yeah,
doesn't hurt. I think the biggest thing too is that it's a blue. So you can park the first one in Arsenal, you can run 3 copies of it, and now you still have a blue card that you can just pitch if you
right.
draw it.
Well, I think it helps in Jarl because like you have 2 cards you're trying to fish for now. You're trying to fish for Seeds of Tomorrow for a 5 prevention effect,
Mm,
or you're trying to fish for this because then you can turned effect. Good deal. I mean, it's interesting because it's like a prevent however much damage Wildfire does once. And
mm.
I mean, if they're doing a big pop off with a Blaze at the end, you can make Blaze do 0.
That's the question: is does it make Blaze do 0? And I
That's fair.
think that the answer is no. I think it's only really doing
Oh,
amp effects. I think that
okay.
Blaze does its own damage. It's not like an effect that increases the arcane damage, if that makes sense.
That
Um,
makes sense.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. It's possible it just neuters Blazing Aether, which would be disgusting. That would actually be a full counter to Kano, but I don't think so. I don't think it works that way.
Yeah. Oh, because X would be its base effect, and X is how much arcane damage you've dealt.
Right.
And so it just can't increase. Yep. I don't think it affects Blaze that way, but it'd be nice to like one of their surge effects make sure it doesn't trigger.
Right. Yeah. You stop a surge effect. You basically have a pitch card in Arsenal for Wildfire. Um, yeah. Very good. I think it's very good, but we'll see. Well, maybe it's not good enough because we'll talk about it later. But Kano got some new tools as well. Uh, but with that, do
Yeah.
you want? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, I was just gonna say it's interesting because it does just give more play around Wizard. And like I think against Verdance too, it helps out a ton with the Guardian matchup because like if you try and go too slow, they can just combo you with staff into amp spell
Mm.
or even just spell.
Yeah,
So
it's
to
also
be
good
able
for
to
range.
like, yeah,
And
like
Acilio, because if they do the
that's true.
big turn and then they amp with their weapon for like +8 on their last spell, you play this card. Now it's just coming in for its base value. So it's good against all the wizards,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. I'm liking it. I want to put it in my deck, see how it feels.
Mm.
My worry is that the matchup's still so bad that it's not worth putting in there because it takes up deck space. But
Yeah,
we'll see.
and yeah, we'll see, we'll see. But with that, how do we get into the? You want to go over the next two Gravy Bones allies that we got spoiled? I think these are from the Armory deck, but the Marvels are able to be pulled from the set. But it's possible you can pull all of them from the set. But I think that the allies themselves are exclusive to the Armory deck.
Yeah. So we have Anka Drag Under, which is a yellow 2 cost, 3 health, 5 attack necromancer action ally. And he has the text of action, pay 1, tap, attack. Or he has instant tap, discard a card with Watery Grave. The next time the opponent draws one or more cards this turn, they discard a card. Which
Pretty good.
I think can be pretty valuable.
Pretty good. I think this card is nuts. I think it's maybe more of a sideboard card. I think it's not
Yeah.
nearly as nuts if you're not threatening the second ability.
Mhm.
But I think it's insane that your opponent can do like Gorg Tome or crack a gold, and then in response, you do this. You discard an ally that you couldn't block with anywhere. You just want to discard in the first place, and then now they don't draw a card, and they spent whatever resources it was to do that too. So you're going card neutral on it, and you're also discarding a card you probably wanted to discard.
Yeah,
And
it's
and the stats are just good. It's a 2 cost, 5 attack, 3 health ally. Like you play it out, you can just pay the one to attack with it with a blue, and now it's like a two or 3 card 8 depending on how you play it.
right. I think it's super cool, but I do think it's like very much a side grade, like you were saying,
Mhm.
where when the opponent looks to draw a lot, just be like, okay, you're gonna have to discard one of the cards from your
Yeah,
hand whenever you draw.
yeah. Like any of the Death Dealer Rangers, any of the Pirate Heroes. There's just so many heroes that this works against, right? Like
Yeah.
it is a sideboard card because mostly because you side it out against the people that don't draw cards often enough.
Alda, Victor.
Yep. All right. Then you want to go over the next one too?
Sure. We have Ulston, Heart of Gold. He is a yellow 0 cost ally with 1 health and 3 attack. His text says action, tap, attack. And then underneath it says when this dies, create a gold token.
Pretty solid. I like
Pretty
it.
good.
I I played I think 2 games of Gravy on Talishard. I was just trying it out, kind of curious.
Mm,
And I noticed that one of the big things was if you don't have a gold, it can be pretty tough to discard your allies. Like the gold is
yeah.
actually very valuable for Gravy to do the draw discard effect of the
Mm,
hero ability. And so this is effectively a 0 for 4 that gives you a gold and is free to attack with. And against some matchups that will have a hard time dealing exactly 1 damage to the ally, it's going to be more than 1 health effectively against them. I think
mm.
this is very good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how it makes it into the decks because like gold seems really important, but it's like
Mhm.
something where you don't want to leave it because it's going to keep dealing damage, but destroying it will also feed his ability and help him out.
Yeah, I don't think you care that much about destroying it. It's more that like the Gravy doesn't lose that much from it dying, right?
Right. You gain so much extra value.
Yeah. But I mean, there would be some times where Gravy's just flooded with gold, and then it just doesn't matter if you give him another one, right?
Mm.
Um, yeah, very solid ally, and that is all the expansion slot cards that we got. Um, unless there's any more that just haven't been spoiled yet, but I'm pretty sure we have all of them, and that should be it.
I do
Um,
think we have all of them.
yeah, outside of maybe some like EAs and stuff, but like that's more treasure pack cards that would be that the EAs would be in.
Yeah.
Uh, but with that, let's go into the new core M's, L's, and Fables. And actually, I should do a little Fabrary search to make it easy.
I was just scrolling through them.
Yeah, I'll just do so. Yeah, I'll do High Seas Majestic. Um, see here. I have to find what's new. Oh, okay. I'll just go in the order of set number. So the first one is Cogworks Workshop. It is a blue one cost mechanologist action that blocks 3. Create a golden cog token. Put a steam counter on up to 2 cogs you control. I think this card is nuts. It's an
I think
absolute
that's
banger blue
super
card.
cool.
This is like exactly what Puffin needs. You're putting steam counters on 2 cogs to make them stay over. You're also creating a golden cog token. You can end your turn with this, or you can crank the golden cog that you create, and it's a blue 3 block. Like it's pretty much everything you want in Puffin. Like I absolutely good card. Like disgusting.
I can imagine, like, I was just thinking, like, having this in your turn 0 hand can be really strong.
Mm.
Just set up, like, there's some
Yeah.
cool things you can do with this card, like ending with it, starting with it. Like, you can just set up such a strong turn. Like, if you already control cogs, you can start with it to, like, add some value and throw some of your, like, Planeteer Aeronaut, which is the one that's like thrice per turn. This gets +1 and destroys a defending card. Like, you can do some cool stuff, and I think this allows you to kind of combo off with those like thrice per turn instants you have.
Right. Exactly. That's very strong for that reason. And actually, I think to smooth things out, maybe I'll go through all the new M's, and then if you want to go through like search for the all the new legendaries and the and talk about the fable or read out the fable later. Um, so the next one, the next M is Blood in the Water, a red 0 cost pirate necromancer defense reaction that blocks for 4. When this defends, you may discard a card or destroy the top card of your deck. If that card has Watery Grave, this card gets +2. We mentioned this before the call, before we started recording. This card is fucking nuts. This is
It's so
insane.
crazy.
This is a 0 for 6 defense reaction if you discard from the top of the deck. And it also puts an ally in your graveyard from the top of
You
your
can
deck.
also discard from hand.
Yeah, you can also convert an ally in hand into a blocking card effectively with this. And it's a
Yeah.
defense reaction. It's not a block card, it's the defense reaction. So you can park it in Arsenal until you want to use it. Like
Mhm.
it's so good. It's
It's so
it's busted. This is disgusting. This is like this alone like increases Gravy's like tier level by like at least a half a notch. This one card. It's insane. Like the
it's
one thing I, like that goes against it is against aggro that's doing a lot of small numbers, you're not going to get the full 6 value against. That's it.
mm.
That's the only downside of this card.
But
And
then
you
it's
can
still
just
0 for 4.
it's still a 0 for 4 defense
It's
reaction.
still
Like
0 for 4.
yeah, and like even like if you
Like,
play against like Cinder and stuff, you can still like wait for them to do like the break, not the break chain, but the breaking point, the breaking point at the end of the combat chain or something,
oh
and
yeah.
then still 0 for 6 them with this. Like absolutely disgusting card. It was funny because like someone mentioned that there was one defense reaction in the set, and I hadn't seen it yet. I didn't even see this card spoiled in the spoilers channel, and I just like searched defense reaction high seas in February, and I see this card. I'm just like, what is this? This is like the best card that's been released in the entire spoiler set. I think, like maybe even better than Fabled, if in terms of raw power level. But we'll get to the Fabled later. I don't know. Insane,
It's
insane card.
cool.
Yeah,
I like it a lot. I like it a lot.
yeah. That's like one reason that I would consider Gravy as an option for Nats, like that card right there. But anyway, the next one, we probably have to run through these pretty quickly. The next one is
Oh yeah.
Gold the Tip. It's a yellow 0 cost pirate ranger action, and these are all majestics by the way that I'm reading out. It
Mhm.
blocks 2. Your next arrow attack this turn gets +3. If there's a yellow arrow face up in your arsenal, create a gold token. And let's go again. Pretty solid pump. I think the main thing to note is that most of the ranger pumps are reds, but this is a yellow,
Mhm.
and it also still pumps 3, and has conditional make a gold token.
Right.
So pretty good.
For a yellow, it could have some pretty insane value.
Yeah. Um, yeah, very solid. You probably will really only play it in Marlin, but you can play it in any of them. Let's see. Next, we have a lot of amulets. I don't know if I want to go through all of them because there's not a lot of notable ones out of these amulets.
Right.
A lot of them are kind of very situational, like against pirate allies. Um, but there are some. It's interesting. Some of these are effectively reprints of other potions that were previously
Right.
made in older sets. Like for example, Ruby Amulet. These are, by the way, these items. They're all amulets, and they are all Legend of the Watery Grave, meaning you can only play one of them, and they turn face down when they go into your grave from the arena. But Ruby Amulet says instant destroy this, gain 2. It's just the energy potion effect. Um, we also have the healing pot effect one, the Punamu Amulet. Destroy this, gain instant. Destroy this, gain 2. Go again. Or sorry, that's actually an action. It's an action. Destroy this, gain 2. Go again. But we also have one, the Sapphire Amulet, that is action. Destroy this. Your hero gets +1 intellect this turn, and that's a new one. We haven't seen that on a
That's
potion
cool.
yet. Pretty cool card. I think the rest of them are
Giving
fairly
Kano a
irrelevant.
5
Oh,
card
we also have
hand seems pretty balanced.
yeah, we're gonna get to that in just a second. I just want to go through a handful of the notable amulets, and then I want to talk about Kano with these.
Yeah.
We also have Diamond Amulet, which is instant destroy this, gain 1 action point. So it's time stamp potion effectively.
Yep.
But yeah, I think the main hero that wants these is Kano, because you now have a 4th energy potion. You can play Sapphire Amulet to set up for a combo turn the next turn with a 5-card hand, 6-card hand if you have an arsenal. And yeah, I mean, just the extra energy potion alone is just disgusting. Also, Verdance has another healing potion effectively.
Right. I don't know how much she actually used the healing potions. Like I hear actually a lot of people like, oh, it's not that good, or oh, you need them, in the Verdance.
If you're going for like the full combo, then more healing potions is huge.
Right.
But yeah, I think absolutely insane for Kano. It's probably good that Kano got some hate because he got a lot of good stuff this set and did not get a ban. So, which we'll go over later, I guess.
Right.
And that's it for the M's. Do you want to talk about the L's and the Fabled?
I think there's only one L we really didn't talk about because there's Polycranket, because I know that's been out. Red Threads, which we talked about. Did we talk about the Sea Lace Serona last time?
See this wrong. We kind of went over it a little bit.
Yeah, the Blood Baited Hook, which I think has been out for a while, and then Codex of Frailty, which is a reprint. So really, we only have the Cogworks Tinker Ring, or Tinker Rings, which is a mechanologist equipment, arms, block 2. When this defends, create a golden cog token.
And Blade Break.
Is Blade Break, thank you.
Very, very good arms. For
Are they?
Or for Puffin.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. For Puffin, it seems pretty strong.
For Puffin is really, really good. Yeah, because not only is it block 2 arms, you just have some good armor, but making a golden cog token is very good for her. It's just like it enables all your effects. You can choose when to block with this when you have a turn that you want to like do the thrice per turn cog stuff. Yeah, it's just high value, really high value arms is really what it is. Yeah, I thought we had more legendaries, but I guess not.
Yeah, we actually got a lot of them spoiled pretty early, which I didn't realize.
Yeah. But yeah, do you want to go over the Fabled though?
Okay, let's see. One sec. So the Fable is Riches of Tropaldahani, which is a yellow gem resource, which means that it cannot be played. It can only be pitched. It has no defense. It has no attack value. It is legendary, so you may only have one of it in your deck. And when it is pitched, create a gold token.
Yep.
So it's a yellow card that creates a gold token when pitched. It's also generic.
It is generic. Yeah, it's not
It's generic.
It's kind of funny because this was like the I think the most easily predictable Fabled. But what's funny is
Yeah.
that people were saying, "Oh, they wouldn't make that. It's too broken. Like it's too broken for a Fabled." But here we are. Yeah, this card is this is a nuts Fabled. I think this has to be one of the most like playable sought after fables for a lot of heroes because I think almost every pirate hero wants this. Maybe not Gravy Bones, maybe, but the other two definitely want this card.
The cool thing about the pirate heroes is you can discard this with a lot of their cards to create a gold too. Like, oh
Yep.
man, it's bad this turn. Well, I'll just discard it and create a gold that way instead of pitching it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm already
Yeah.
used to having a lot of non-blocks in hand in Gravy. What's one more that sometimes creates more gold?
Yeah. Yeah. Gravy might run this too, but it might just be a situation of do you really want another no block in your hand?
That's true. That's very true.
But yeah, just making a gold token when pitched is crazy because not only do the pirate heroes want it, but Kasai loves this card. Kasai is fiending for this card. It's insane.
Yeah. And like Victor runs a helmet just so he can have one extra gold in game.
Mm-hmm.
Like one extra gold is worth an entire helmet slot for him.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, with Victor, you get to like pitch for something on your turn. Like if you're running tectonic plating, you pitch to pay for that. You draw a
Even if
card.
you're not playing tectonic plating, like, oh, I'll just like pitch this and something else to throw an attack or gold main. Like
It's
I don't know how good it is because it's a yellow and a guardian.
yeah, but for
But like
Victor,
yeah. Well, I
because
mean like in
you have
Victor,
to keep
like
in mind you draw a card when you make this gold in your own turn, right?
no, it's from I think it's from action effects that
Oh,
you
is
draw.
it?
Wait, is it? Wait, no. Let me look up Victor because actually the block card is
No, it's just whenever you create a gold from an effect you control.
that's so good.
Well,
Pitch
the
a
first
card,
time rather.
draw a card, create a gold.
Yep.
What is
Yep.
that?
So you draw a card
What
off of it. So that's why like you can just like throw your hand like normal, make a gold and draw a card, but like you don't
Mhm.
typically have an extra action point, right? And so you'll draw a card and hopefully you can arsenal it, but you can't always arsenal the cards and
Well,
guardians, right?
pitch this to Goldmane Estate. You
Well,
create.
Gold Main Estate's already making a gold, and it's only once per turn.
Well, the thing is, you're creating 4 gold token, or you're creating
That's
two.
true.
Like, create 2 gold tokens. Which, if you're running the helmet, like you don't even have to run the helmet if you pitch this in the Goldmane Estate. You immediately create might tokens with the shield.
Yeah.
If you control the helmet, you immediately turn 0, first play, create 4 mites, 4 gold. Like,
Yeah, that is true. That is +1 on the Gold Main Estate turns.
like
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good.
that's insane.
Yeah.
Oh no, why
I
would
think the
they
biggest
do
strength though is like
this?
being able to find a way to pitch it while you still have your action point. So you draw a card and you can use that card for your attack.
Well, if you pitch into Zealous, oh, you
Yeah.
do a blue
Well, you
first.
can't Zealous. Yeah, you have to blue. No, you have to like red over pitch into Zealous Belting, right?
That's true. That's true.
If you red over pitch into Zealous Belting, or if you like I said, do the Seismic Surge, the Tectonic Plating, or
Switch back to Crater Fist, pop Crater Fist, pitching an extra blue. I love
yeah,
Crater Fist. I love Crater.
yeah, like, there's
just
not a ton
old.
of ways to like get the immediate draw that you can use that turn, but
Yeah.
yeah, just the fact like that's a big deal that I didn't notice at first too was you don't need to run the helmet really anymore. Like you don't like I mean you maybe you
Probably
still run the
still with
helmet.
consistency, but like this
Yeah,
will add extra value through your game because you run the helmet for 1 gold to
yeah,
get an extra gold every once in a like maybe an extra gold in the game, if not 2. We'll see how good it actually is because
I
it's
just
a
realized
yellow,
too
but hmm.
if you're playing against any hero that does kind of split damage in terms of like needing to AB, you get to pitch this to AB and draw a card.
That's so good.
Huh.
That's where you get a lot of value because you're like, oh no, Florian, what are you? Oh, I'll pitch to your arcane, draw a card, take 0 damage, lost nothing, 4-card hand still.
I'm trying to think if there's any other way to like pitch on your opponent's turn, but it's just AB. Or your Yara Winners bites you and you're like
It reminds me of a time once that like I got winter spited by a Jarl,
Mhm.
and it was I was forced to pitch 2 cards to my gauntlets to throw Mangle. But because they made it 4 cost for my gauntlets, but threw no damage. I was like, I had an earth and an ice card in hand. They were both 3 pitch. I'm like, oh wait, I can just activate the double text on it with pitching 2 separate cards.
That's awesome. Yeah, the frostbite hurt them
Yeah,
in that case.
yeah. I was like, that frostbite actually hurt you a lot more than it helped you. It was a funny like situation.
Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah, that
absolutely crazy fabled right there.
yeah,
Um,
which is a little unfortunate.
yeah, we'll see.
We'll
My
see if
my
it's
biggest worry with
actually
this
good.
is we didn't put this in notes, but I kind of maybe after we're done with spoilers, I'll talk about like nationals acquisition issues. Um, but
I'm so
needing this
glad I'm
card,
not a Nationals.
needing
Oh
this
my
card
god.
for nationals is going to be tough because it's going to be pretty
Yeah.
sought after. You might just not even be able to get it. Like you might
Mhm.
literally have no way to get this card before nationals.
Right.
Um, depends on how rare
I'm
it is.
interested to see if it's actually as good as it looks because like it looks pretty strong, but it is a non-block that does nothing else but pitch.
Right. It just yeah. We'll see. Maybe we're overhyping it a little bit, but I think it's pretty good. I think it's
Mhm.
pretty good.
I
Um,
am praying that it is unplayable.
there's no chance. There's no shot. It's at least
I know.
guaranteed playable in Kasai. Like Kasai loves this card.
Yeah.
Victor maybe not. Maybe it's just like not really good enough in Victor. And then I think some of the pirate heroes definitely want to play it. Um, but with that, I want to go over just like some notable commons and rares that we got spoiled because there's just way too many to go over all of them.
Right.
I think Polly got a lot of the good ones. There is a Cogworks. No. Where is it? It is Cloud Skiff. It is a red 1 for 5 mechanologist attack action that blocks 3. Once per turn instant, tap a cog you control. This gets +1 or go again. So it's the same text as Sky Skimmer, which is the 0 for 4 version of it, but it's a one
Mhm.
for 5 version of it, which is really good with the way that you want to play out a lot of Poly's turns with your 2 cost cards. So you get to go like this, tap to give go again into a 2 cost off of a blue. Um, really strong. It really smooths out a lot of the turns. There's some other commons and rares that are really good, but I want to go over all of them. There's just not really enough time
The
to go through all
Goldwing
these commons and
Turbine.
rares. Which one? Oh,
Goldwing Turbine, your next mechanologist attack this turn gets +3. Create a golden cog token.
yeah. Um,
That seems pretty strong.
it's interesting. You have to crank the golden cog token.
Oh, it
With
doesn't have go
yeah, it
again.
doesn't have go again.
Oh wow, I didn't
So
realize that.
it's not it's unfortunately not the greatest. Like it's still decent, right? Because you don't have to tap it. So you can do this into an
Mhm.
attack that like wants multiple cogs and you get the +1 off the cog. But if it costs 1, I think it'd be very playable, but costing 2 is kind of pricey. I think it's more of a
That's fair.
limited card.
Okay, okay.
Um like I think you probably play the blue one in limited and then or you can even play the blue one in CC and just end your turn with it just to make a golden cog if you have extra cards or turn 0 play. Um Gravy got a lot of attacks that do the same effect as the defense reaction, where you can discard a watery grave card from your hand or the top of your deck, and
Mhm.
it gets a benefit, um, which I think is really
I
really good.
I think Jittery Bones is insane because it's a 0 for 4 that blocks 3. But when you discard a card or destroy the top of your deck, if it has Watery Grave, it gets go again. So it's a
Mhm.
0 for 4 with go again while getting like an ally into graveyard.
I think the best color of that one is blue, actually.
I
Interestingly enough,
actually really like the blue of that too.
the blue is really good because you attack, you discard a watery grave card. This gets go again. You close the chain, so now you have a blue card that went to your graveyard. You have
Mm.
the Necromancer chest piece activate to give you a resource, and now you played a blue that dealt 2 damage and discarded a watery grave card and got your resource. Like I think it might just be better than Murderous Ravel,
Place them
actually. The blue Ravel.
Another card that I think is really cool is the Vast G. which is a 0/3 block Pirate Necromancer action, which is your next pirate ally attack this turn gets go again, and when it hits, create a gold token.
Giving go again to an ally attack, pretty
Yeah.
good.
That's all I had to say.
Pretty
The extra
good,
attack's
yeah.
like a little bit of spice on top, but I'm like, that's pretty good, especially when you have some allies that are just 0/4s. That's a
Yeah.
zero, like playing this is a 0/4 blue that lets you play another ally from graveyard because you have go again.
Mm-hmm.
So you could like it. I like it a lot.
I think
Like
this
that
is the
one.
glue that Gravy needed, right?
Yeah.
Because if your opponent leaves any allies on the board, you now get to play this, attack with an ally on board, play an ally from the grave, and attack with an ally from grave. Like it just smooths it out
Mhm.
entirely. Like if your opponent just has to kill your free swings or your bigger swings on site now, because if you find this card and you get to keep an ally, it's so much. It's so good. It's just it's disgusting. Yeah. There was also some there were some cards spoiled in the armory deck, Gravy Bones. Um, but they aren't really official spoilers, but so I won't go over them specifically, but there are more ways to like there are more of these Avasti style effects that make Gravy Bones really, really good in terms of like
Well,
attacking with
there's
multiple allies
a
and stuff.
couple more in the set. It's like there's Heave Ho in the set, which gives overpower, and Yo Ho Ho, which is give your next pirate ally attack +1.
Yeah, but those aren't quite as good as Go Again.
Yeah, no, those are not as good as a Vasti.
Yeah, not quite as good as Avasti.
That one feels like it's gonna be a lot of fun to play. Just like a Vasti.
Yeah.
And you like go all pirate mode, get on the accent, start throwing out.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds fun.
Um, we also got some of the notable ones for Marlin. We got these like blue cards that these blue ranger actions that block 3 that effectively
Mhm.
you look at the top card of your deck. If it's an arrow, you put it face up in your arsenal. And it gets a benefit. So like one of them gives +1, another one gives go again, which is crazy, and another one gives
It's
overpower.
pretty good.
So like the one that gives go again, I think might just be a staple in Marlin. It
Mhm.
might even be a staple in all Rangers, honestly. Like you get to look at the top card of your deck.
3 block action too at blue.
Yeah, exactly. Um, in Azalea, you get to Skullbone cross. You have like multiple opt effects, right?
Mhm.
So you can like have a pump in your arsenal, see if there's an arrow on top, play the pump in arsenal, play this blue blind card, get a free card from the top of your deck into your arsenal with go again, and swing that.
Mhm.
And you haven't even activated Death Dealer yet this turn.
Yeah, you haven't even reloaded.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like this card is kind of crazy. I'm surprised it blocks 3. That makes it very good.
I love how all the arts on these the 3 cards line up.
Mm.
I think it's immensely sad that the card number order is wrong by 1, so the arts are mixed.
I was wondering that. Yeah, it's off. That's so sad. Why did they do that? LSS,
Like
what the
it
fuck?
like it doesn't matter that much, but I love when arts do that. Like you
Well,
have
renumber them.
but
Okay,
it's
that's gonna
like
mess with me. I can't. Why would you point that out? Now I noticed that, and I can't help it.
well, it's
I get why they
they're
did it
all by
though.
different artists too,
I get
which
what.
is actually super cool.
So I get why they did it though. It's because if you
Mhm.
read them in order, it's hook, line, sinker.
Yeah.
So that's why they did it. But the art's not matching up like that. Yeah.
It's cool though.
Um.
I like the combo, even though I only think one's probably gonna be good.
Mhm. And then I think it's basically it, unless you saw any other cards you wanted
So
to talk about.
I think the next thing we have to talk about is Scurv.
Oh yeah, we got to talk about Scurv.
So one thing I realized there's no adult Scurv, but to explain who Scurv is, Scurv is a hero that's been in the set. He's Scurv Stowaway, a 4 intellect, 20 health hero with pirate thief hero, young. So he is a thief all as well as a pirate. And he has action tap, destroy a gold you control, create a gold kiss rum token, go again. And he also has, whenever you activate a gold kiss rum, gain 1 lot or gain 1 pitch.
Mhm.
He's super interesting.
Yeah,
Thief
so
is just like royal, from what I understand.
I think so, yeah. Something to note about this guy, this he's not an expansion slot card. He is a young hero that is draftable. He takes the slot of another card that's not a token slot card. So you will draft and see this card in your pack sometimes. And if you draft this guy, you can play with him as your hero in draft. And you can also play with him in sealed and I think there's one other limited format that I'm blanking on, but you can play with him in sealed too if you get him.
Yeah, if you pull him.
So yeah, very really interesting. I don't think have we ever seen a draftable hero? I don't think so, right?
No.
That's the first one. And so you can see this early and then just start drafting for Scurv, or you can kind of stay a little bit open and then maybe in pack 2 you see this guy and you're like, I guess I'm Scurv now, and then you don't need to worry about any of the class cards. You just only draft pirate and generic cards. His effect's pretty good, right? Because
Mhm.
you get to create a Gold Kiss Rum token, which will tap your hero to get go again
Really
on the next
strong.
card, which is very
And it gives
strong.
you a pitch. So you can throw
Yep.
2 of the 2 cost. So
Mhm.
like the 2 for 6s.
Yeah,
And
two
one
two
of
for
them I
sixes.
wanted to point out because it's really interesting. But you could throw 2 for 6s at the opponent off of 1 blue. Or it's like a 3
Yeah,
card 12,
yeah, you can do 3
which is
card 12 there.
insane value
Not to
without
mention the
any
other
on
effects.
hit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then there are a lot of cards in the like pirate and generic areas that say if you're a thief, do something extra.
Mhm.
So you get extra benefits from a lot of the cards in the set as well, on top of your hero ability. Oh, and we haven't gone over the weapon yet. Did you see that? Look right
Yeah,
next to him.
so
Yeah. Do you want to say it? Do you want to talk about
sure. So he also has Sticky Fingers, which
it?
is an offhand ally Scurv companion, which is action tap attack. If this is equipped, unequip him. When this attacks a hero, steal a gold token they control,
Mm,
perched. So you have this little squid that sits right on your shoulders until you send them out to steal the gold from the opponents. I love it. That's so
yeah,
cool. Like
it's such a cool companion.
it's such a cool companion.
Because it attacks for 2. It's unlike Poly that it doesn't really attack. It just is there to
Yeah.
make an action to crank and give you a card. This one actually attacks for 2. It steals a gold, and then your opponent has to attack it for 2, or else it stays out and it can attack again.
And keep stealing gold.
Yeah, and
Like
keep stealing gold.
if you don't stop it, he's just gonna be there snagging gold here and there.
Hmm. Yeah,
Super
like
cool.
Gravy doesn't have a huge time dealing with them because you can play a small ally and attack into it. But like 2 health is annoying to deal with. It's not anything
Mhm.
easy. Um, but yeah, I thought it was really cool. A very cool direction for LSS to go in terms of the limited format.
I'm interested to see how it turns out. Like either this is gonna be something super cool and amazing, and it's kind of cool because like in flavor and lore, he's a stowaway that just kind of pops out.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, it's like kind of cool that like
That's true.
you're like going through the packs and you like find him in the bottom of the ship and you're like, hey, what are you doing out there? Come on, let's come fight for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, actually,
That's
I didn't
like
think about that flavor wise. Is that yeah, he just kind of popped out at us out of the blue from the stowaway area.
yeah, which is kind of cool.
um, so I think that's pretty much it in terms of cards to talk about. Now there is something notably missing from all these spoilers, something that we didn't get, and we have a little bit of inside information that we did not also get it in the armory deck for Gravy Bones. You know what that
Oh
is?
yeah, yeah. Weapon. Gravy Bones doesn't have a weapon.
There is no weapon for Gravy Bones. Just does not have a weapon. Uh, you're only the only thing you can equip. Actually, can you equip the compass in addition to a 2-hand weapon? You can't, right?
I no, because it's an offhand. I'm pretty sure it takes
Yeah.
one hand.
So I don't.
Yeah, no, you
Are there
can't.
any single-handed weapons in the game you can run?
Not
Or-
generic. You can, if you don't like the compass, you can run Talishar.
right.
The Lost Treasure, isn't it? Wait, isn't it?
It is Lost Treasure or Lost Prince. Lost Prince.
Oh yeah, I lost
Yeah.
Prince. Thank you.
Um. Yeah. So Gravy just doesn't have a weapon, which is a very interesting design choice to go with. Um, Something to note too, actually talking about Scurv. Scurv also doesn't have a weapon um,
Mm.
for draft purposes.
Oh, that's true.
So that was actually really surprising. Like I guess they just decided. My theory is that they had a weapon in development, and then they thought Gravy was too good with it, and so they just
Hmm.
decided he didn't need a weapon. Um, he basically has like instead of just giving him like for example, Drumline didn't have a weapon either. Really, like she had a weapon, but it was just like giving allies stuff, so it wasn't
Right.
really a weapon. So it's basically just like he's almost like Dromai in that sense, but he just didn't need the weapon effect to be good enough.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It's super interesting. I think it's super cool to see this kind of like, or to see a different way to do this,
Hmm.
or like a different avenue to take a hero that we haven't seen before. Because I don't think anyone's ever thought of designing a hero without a weapon.
Right, literally just cannot run a weapon unless you don't run Compass, but you're always running Compass. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll
So
see. Maybe he might get a weapon in the future though. Maybe they just want him to have a weapon in the future in a future expansion slot.
it'd be interesting to also see if we get like a one-handed generic weapon that's kind of like Talishar the Lost Prince,
Hmm.
where it's like a one-handed, like one cost 2 damage,
We can
like
rush
something that's
counters.
not good, but like, oh, I have an extra pitch and some action points. I guess I'll throw 2 damage. You know what I mean?
Right.
Gets a rust counter, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he'll probably I would be surprised if he doesn't get something in the future, but for now, no weapon for Gravy. Um but yeah, so unless you have anything to talk about spoilers, we can kind of go over our thoughts on the heroes overall and stuff. Oh, by the way, the Gravy Armory deck is coming out on Monday. We did get an official announcement about that. Or not coming out, not released on Monday, but is getting
All the
spoiled.
spoilers are
Yeah.
Monday.
Um
Um, I
yeah,
wrote a
so
couple notes, but some of them are kind of silly. Like I have no idea what I'm doing with Puffin.
she's very unique for a mechanologist.
Yeah,
Um
I'm excited to see them go a different direction with Mechanologist.
yeah.
Like, don't need boost. Like, you can still run it, but you don't need it.
Mhm,
Like, you have all this extra cog. It still feels Mechanologist because you're doing stuff with cogs. But
mhm.
I have no idea how to run Mechanologist. I barely know how to do Guardian. So, like,
He's really cool. I've been like looking
yeah.
at Puffin a little bit, and there's you can kind of go two directions, right? You can run boost cards, or you cannot run boost cards.
Mhm.
And if you run boost cards, you have to not run. You
Pirate cards.
basically can't run any pirate cards, or else you just go 0 to 60 or a zipper hit, and then you banish a pirate card, and you're like, well, my turn's over. You can like run the Achilles heels to fix that, but you don't want to run boots just to fix in case you mess up a turn, right? Like
Mhm.
that's not really great. Um, so I have a feeling that there's been going to be either heavy boost lists or zero boost lists. It's going to be one or the other for Puffin, but she got a lot of good glue pieces. I think that she might be good enough to play at Nats. I think she's actually a pretty solid option. She just has so many cool things you can do, like so many power turns. And Polly is just
Mhm.
good. Polly is just disgusting against
Polly's
the right
so cool.
heroes.
I love Polly.
Yeah, yeah, Polly, yeah, and you get to play Polly. Like you have to play Puffin, right?
Yeah. Did you see that things that target or have like deal damage to target can hit an ally off your shoulder or like off
Yeah,
first?
that's the
So
sad
like,
part, right? It's like Kano can just snipe it early before you even get to play it.
hmm,
Um,
which I
there
mean is
are
like flavorful, but
right. There are actually
why
some
would you use
limited cards
that?
in the set too. There are some like some
Yeah.
cards that say like deal 1 damage to any target. Um, so there, yeah, there are ways to kill Poly before you even use it. So you kind of have to like against the especially in limited, you have to use it or lose it, which is interesting. And then Gravy, I think, is much better now with all the glue pieces. Got
Hmm.
a lot of needed cards to make him function a lot more smoothly. Um, I when I played him, I think the biggest problem was if I didn't have a gold, I just couldn't discard my allies. Like
Right.
I might they were stuck in my hand. I couldn't do anything with them. And he now has so many ways to just discard allies off the top of your deck too, instead of your hand, if needed. And that and then some of the cards that like give your allies go again or just like the new allies in general. Like I think that you just got a lot of extra pieces that was needed to make him
Mhm.
actually a very playable deck now.
Yeah, I'm really excited to play him. Like, it's just like a different way to play Flesh and Blood. It's just completely different. So I'm excited to like sit down and like, oh, okay. Like I played Dromai once when I borrowed your deck,
Mhm.
and it was a lot of fun. But it's like I don't really do allies. I don't do all that kind of stuff. And like seems like a lot of fun with a lot of shenanigans of like, aha, do this, discard this, do this, re-summon him, do this, like all that kind of fun stuff. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't know. It's funny because I Gravy started at like the very low. I was like, he's not gonna be good. He's not good. He's
Mhm.
terrible. And then I'm like, okay, he's like kind of playable, but he has some literally unwinnable matchups. And then now I'm like, he's looking pretty good. Like I might play Gravy after all.
Mhm.
I might actually be playing this guy. Um, so yeah, Gravy's looking really cool. Um, Marlin, she got some new stuff from these reveals, but nothing that was too notable. I think that everyone knows that she's pretty good already, and I don't think she got anything that really changed that or made her much better. But so she's still kind of solid to me.
Yeah, it's just kind of a lot of holes are being filled.
Mm.
Oh, that warrior card. It could be good against Marlin. You play
Three of
it,
a
and then she
kind.
does draw three of a kind,
Yep.
death dealer draw. There we figured it out.
I mean, yeah, it's a 0 for 4 if that happens.
It's a 0 for 4. She activates the weapon every single turn,
So you have to
so it
attack with a
stays.
weapon, actually. So it
You
doesn't
have
work
to
against. Yeah,
no.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Well,
um,
I mean, it's good there, but yeah.
yeah. Ben, unless you have any other thoughts on the heroes, the new heroes, we can talk about the BNR really quick. We do need to. We only have like a few minutes left because I do need to
Oh
run.
yeah.
But do a quick speed run of the BNR. We got the Germinate ban that we already talked about, and Scepter of Pain
Mhm.
ban, which was hitting Florian. But Florian got a new blue block 3, so maybe good enough now to recoup from that. We got Bonds of Ancestry unbanned, so that's now a Katsu card. That Katsu is now playable potentially? Question mark.
He went
Uh,
from F tier to C tier. Let's go.
right. And then CYB is just banned. Just all colors are now banned. They noted that not only was it unfun to play against at the armory level, but they had to spend a ton of development time on making sure that the the heroes weren't busted with uh with CYB, right?
Yeah.
So
I
it was both for us and for them that they banned it.
kind of expected CYB to go. I personally never had a problem with CYB, and I had a lot of fun. But I also played Guardian, which has like, in a roundabout way, has a really good and easy way of dealing with CYB.
Right.
So it's not like a huge problem. But like, it just had such a bad reputation among the community. Like, so many people were like, "It's not fun. It's so boring." Da 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 da. Like, there's so like it just like the community didn't like it, and
Yeah.
of course, this game is meant to be played for fun. And when it's such a minor part of the community that enjoys CYB, I never played it. I enjoyed it, but it's
Mm,
such a minor part of the community. I understand it going. Like, I'm not mad it's gone. I liked it,
same.
but I'm not mad it's gone.
I just had a thought where it's kind of funny. It's almost like it living legended itself. Like it had its time in the sun, and now it's gone. Like it just it
Yeah.
had its its meta moments for a while and had its legacy.
Echo. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, there's a new LL point distribution. So now, if the first year a hero is out, it gets half the amount of LL points. The second year it's out, it gets the normal amount of LL points, and then 3 years and after, it gets 1.5 times LL points. Um, really gonna smooth out like any issues. I was listening to Flush and Pod, and they talked about it really well, which is that Aurora didn't even get the chance to get tuned before
Mhm.
she was gone, and this will allow the new heroes to have time to get a ban or any kind of fixes needed so that they don't go before it's their time. And I think that makes a lot of sense.
The one the one thing I'm like, I've simmered on this a little bit. I was a little like heated for a little bit, but
Mm,
the one thing I was like thinking and talking to a few people about is with this policy, they have to be a little more aggressive with the bans now. They can't just let the best deck sit so strong for so long. where it's like when Zen was so strong and it felt like he was just running with bonds of ancestry forever. It's like for a while there's like some heroes like all of Mistvale. Like I've been just sitting here, like personally, I'm like I can't wait for them to go since like the first week of them. Like not the first, like I liked them for a little bit, but after like the first month, I'm like I just have to wait for LL to take them out because
Mhm.
they're just so immensely like overpowering of any way I want to play the game. Like they
Yeah.
just block anything I want to do, keep me from playing the game the way I want to play it. It's like really frustrating sometimes to like sit down and not be able to play the meta the way I want to because Misfail exists.
Mhm.
So it feels like my only option at that point was like, oh, I'll just wait for them to LL. It's just going to be a weird year. But like now it's a lot slower for that, which is fine. But it's just, I feel like they need to take a lot heavier of a ban. So a lot of people, like someone like a crazy hero comes out and people can't sit back and be like, oh, wait for the LL this year. They're like, oh man, I have like 2 years of this hero that I can't stand to play against.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
it's
it's
interesting.
like,
It's a double-edged sword in that sense, right? Because if
yeah,
there's a problem hero in the new set and it doesn't get hit enough, or if it's only hit to the point where it's still very playable but not extremely busted, then people who have a negative experience against that hero are going to keep having negative experience against that hero for longer.
yeah.
Um, so
Which
I
I
think there's some
think with
downsides to it as
yeah,
well.
I was gonna say with more ban windows, I'm sure they can like mitigate and fix this, so it's not really a problem. But that
Yeah,
was like my when I heard this news, my initial thought was
yeah,
like, can I? My first thought was, what if Enigma stuck around for 2 years? Could I have
exactly.
handled that?
Enigma
Like,
would have been here even longer.
yeah,
Yeah, it has its downsides. But I
yeah,
think something interesting to note too is that like the older heroes getting the 1.5x bump means that the older heroes are going to LL a lot easier, and
mhm,
I'll maybe allow them to have more design space because of that. Like for example, Dash IE would definitely be gone by now. Um,
yeah.
Kano would probably be gone by now as well with the 1.5x
Azalea
bump.
would have been gone too.
Azalea definitely would have been gone. It allows for heroes that have been out for a long time to finally rest. They're at their old age. They've seen a lot. They're
Mhm.
walking stumbling around with their cane. They're just like, I'm just waiting to die. Like just let them
All the
rest.
welcome to Wraith heroes.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, really interesting that they went with that route. But I
Right.
think I think it's overall good, but do think it has downsides as well.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
like overall, after I've simmered down, very good. I think it's
mhm.
just they have to be a little more heavy-handed with bans.
Yeah, I
My
think
only little
still
thought.
the fan frequency I think needs to be updated a little bit.
Well, now I think it's a lot like immediately after nationals, you have a ban now, and it feels like a lot more of like big event ban window, which they can say nothing, which is fine. Like if we have a good meta, they don't have to ban something. But it is just the instance of like, oh, Enigma is the meta, and like 90% of heroes can't be played. Well, let's ban Miragai or like something like that.
Yeah. If they time the bands better too, then that can fix it.
Yeah,
Um,
which so far it's looking good. So
yeah,
like,
and then they announced that Living Legend will be at Worlds as the third format. So now it's going to be CC Draft Living Legend. They reintroduced the third format, which is really cool. Um, I think it's cool. I think it's cool from the spectator perspective, but obviously it puts more strain on the competitors to prepare three formats.
mhm.
But at least it's not Blitz. Is what I'll say.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I
Yeah.
was hoping it was gonna be Project Blue, but it's fine.
Yeah. I enjoy watching LO. I think it's
Mhm,
cool. As someone that's not performing, I can't tell you the stress of what it's gonna be like, but
mhm.
I think it's super cool. I would love to sit down and be like, "Hey, it's Starvo. Hey, it's Icelander.
Yeah.
Dromai again."
As someone
Really
who
cool.
like might compete for it, there's not a ton of stuff between nationals and worlds. Like there is Pro Tour Singapore, but then there's a decent amount of time between then and worlds to prepare. So
Mhm.
I don't think it's too big of a problem. I'm gonna speed run through these things because I do have to leave in like a minute. Uh,
Oh yeah, sorry.
for PQ season overall, Florian got the most wins overall. Then it was Aurora, and then it was pretty fairly even after that. So Florian was definitely the top performing deck for PQ season. And then I just want to give a shout out to Jared Contaldi, who won Battle Hardened Hartford. Um, he is one of my testing team partners, and he took it down on Florian He
That's cool.
studied a lot for that and put a lot of hard work into it, and definitely deserved that win. So it was really cool to see him get there. But with that, is there anything else you wanted to say before we close out the episode?
I've got all my words out.
All right. To leave off with a question, what are you most excited for again in High Seas? Are there any of these new spoilers that you really like? Are there any expansion cards that you think would maybe be underrated? Let us know in the comments below. And again, if you like our podcast, please subscribe, give us a like. It'll help us out a ton. And with that, I'm Cody.
And I'm Jacob.
Thanks for watching and listening.